right, Thunderbolt. We have another blue ink, and this is a standard. So we've yet to have a plain standard blue ink. Let's swatch it out and see what we get. All right, I've got my swatch card here and my paintbrush, and this is actually a very beautiful bright blue. So we'll just paint this on here as carefully as possible. There we go. I've got my dip pen, and it does glide very nicely off of the nib. And we'll, whoops, not get my finger in the ink there. Go ahead and write the name here. Thunderbolt. Another interesting holiday themed, but you know, it would work for all year round. So let's put that off to the side and try our other journal books. Notebooks, whatever you'd like to call them. This is the Mnemosyne here, and we're going to swatch it out. Look at it, it's just this beautiful, vibrant, kind of luscious blue. It dries really quickly around the edges. It is a little bit of a different blue than the other two blues, so that is nice. And now we will go ahead and try it on our rhodia. And there we go. It seems to be a little bit more of a purplish blue, but not as purpley as the nightshade. So, you know, interesting how many combinations of blue you can come up with. And now we've got the Hobonichi here. And let me push my stuff out of the way, and we'll go ahead and label it. The 17th already. I don't know if you guys are starting to stress, but Christmas is like literally right around the corner. My kids will be off of school here soon, so this is super exciting. And then I'll really have to work hard to try and find time to get into the art studio. All right, so let's go ahead and set this off to dry, and we will see what we come back with in just a jiffy. All right, so here is Thunderbolt all dried, and it is quite a beautiful blue. It started out really dark here, and then it got a little bit lighter as I went, which was nice. We also have just a hint of sheening there, just because I put the ink on quite thickly. And let's check on our Mnemosyne here. So it shades beautifully. Again, a hint of sheening there. It is a pretty blue. Again, a little bit of bleed through, but I put it on pretty heavy. And lastly, we have the rhodia here. Again, not very much sheening on this one at all. And again, no bleed through, which has been really nice. So that's actually a really nice notebook, I think, to write in. I'm gonna have to try just journaling in it. And here is the Tomoe River, and we have quite a bit of sheeting here, just a little bit around the outsides. It looks a lot like Ruby Blues, like the base blue, slightly different, but no bleed through there. But I mean, kind of close, you could sort of see that. So why don't we line these up side by side and get a feel for what they look like on all of the papers together. All right, so as you can see, I would like the rhodia looks like it might be a little bit lighter or paler than the other two, but you know, a blue's a blue at the end of the day in my book. Well, this blue anyways. So let's check the chromatography and see what we've got. Surprise! Bits of kind of a purplish color, as I kind of guessed, and then just the blue on the top, really basic. So it'll be interesting to play with this one and see what we come up with today. I've got my little watercolor art journal here, and flip back to yesterday's, which I still love. Like sometimes the art and the ink just flows beautifully. I'm hoping we can do that today, but I guess we'll see. And I should have taken a clue right here when I realized that the tape roll pulled from the opposite side, and it was like super awkward. It was just really weird. I don't know. I should have gotten a clue then, because today's a journey, y'all. So grab a drink and buckle up. I will speed up some bits here, but I will jump back in and kind of tell you about my process and what I've been thinking. So get ready. Here we go. here's where I decided to get crazy with the process. As I was inking, I was like remembering that bubble art, and I thought, I wonder if I could do that with ink. So I added a drop of some dish soap, and it did really do some kind of cool stuff with the ink, which was fun. But then I went ahead and added a bunch of water with my paintbrush. I just dripped water in there, and then I used my syringe, my ink syringe that I used to fill my converters, and I just blew bubbles. This was so messy, but at the same time, really satisfying. Kind of like the kid in me came out and we just played. So I'm going ahead and creating the bubbles, and I thought I would take a palette knife to somehow try and drop them onto the page. Yeah, this didn't work so well. So then I was like, let me grab a smaller palette and try and drop them on there. And again, they just sort of dried. So I was like, oh, let me just put the soap on my page. I'm not sure where my brain was. But again, we had some cool bubbles. So in theory, the play worked out because I got to play and have a good time. But none of it worked how I wanted to. Sometimes that's just how exploration works. So we're just going to jump back in and finish up this process, and then I will check back with you at the end. Wish me luck, y'all. So that happened. I have to say, you know, I feel like I kind of pulled it together. Like, it's not my favorite piece by any means, but I wanted to go with like that sort of Jack Frost, you know, how the little frost crystals start appearing on glass or whatnot. So yeah, I really do like where the ink shaded was beautiful, and we had some of those purples show up, and where the soap was kind of created a bit of a weird resist, which was fun. So yeah, I mean, we explored, and that was truly what I've set out to do from the beginning of this. So it wasn't as cool as yesterday's, but it's still kind of cool in its own right. And we did have quite a bit of bleed over, like underneath that tape, which I probably won't use again. So, and to make it kind of look more purposeful, I just grabbed my dip pen and then went ahead and just drew some kind of sketchy little lines around the outside. And then, hey, only me and you and anyone else who's watching this video would know that this wasn't intentional, but you know, we made it intentional. So it's kind of like the frost is sort of coming out over the page. Yeah, I like that. We're totally gonna roll with that. So we'll go ahead and add those, and then, you know, maybe a couple little dots here and there. I did use a grayish gel pen as well to add a few more of those in there. I forgot to mention that. And everything that I use will be down in the description box below. So there we have it. Day 17, a bit of a fun blue play, and boy, what an ink catastrophe we had over here. So I don't know what I'm going to do there, but luckily I created this journal with a few extra pages. Fishoo! All right, we did it, you guys. Another day in the journal. Whoops, I just smeared the ink there. Let's go ahead and dry it one more time. So I don't know, you guys like the bloopers? You want me to leave those in? Let me know for tomorrow's video. And yeah, let's call it a wrap. A super inky, messy wrap today, but we had fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. And until we get to create again tomorrow, I'll see you then. Happy creating. Okay, I just had to show you. Look at the bowl that I used, which of course is, you know, strictly for art, but it, like, the ink dyed all the little crackles in there. And then look at this. Whoop! This is amazing. This was the ink in the bowl. So maybe I didn't really create like the art I wanted in my journal page, but look how cool this is. So always pay attention to the experience and the process of creating and enjoy the entire process, not just how the finished product came out. So again, thank you guys. Lots of love going out to you for sticking with me. And until next time, happy creating this time for sure.